Hello friends, this is Melanie here with the astrology of the week on this very Phoenix day of the year, November 22nd, 2022, as the sun moved from Scorpio to Sag last night at 12:20 a.m. Lots of zeros, ones, and twos. Yes, so beautiful alignment numerically showing us we're also we are invited to be interdimensionally aligned and go out of the matrix of the density as we know it. Sagittarius is a breath of fresh air after so much Scorpio that we've had in this season, especially also with the eclipses, the partial solar eclipse new moon on the 25th of October, and the total lunar eclipse in Taurus Scorpio with Uranus on the 8th of November. So the energy shifts. Nothing in Scorpio anymore except for the South Node, which carries on to be there, probably much needed, until next July. So the South Node in Scorpio shows us that and also how and why we need to release all kinds of intense, dark, energy that pulls us in, lowers our vibration, we lose energy over it, and we go into division, we go into a real dark zone and black hole with it. I shouldn't say black hole because black hole is also a beautiful thing. It's the birthing place of everything, as we will see when the sun in Sagittarius will pass across the galactic center, which is known to be a black hole. That's end of Sagittarius, so this much for that. But first things first, we start with the Sagittarius season now, not just with the sun, but also with the new moon tomorrow. New moon at the first at 1 degree 37 Sagittarius. Early Sagittarius, still Phoenix energy, Aries undertone. Ask me about these decanates of the signs. Early Sag has an Aries undertone, mid Sag has a Leo undertone, late Sag has a Sag undertone. More about that on request and as it comes up and in a session if you like. Pretty cool. Anyway, early Aries is early Sag is like igniting, being the spark that ignites the hearts, as I said. That's very early Sag. And we have now this spark energy out there as we're moving into the pre-solstice, pre-Christmas season. 4 weeks to go, and everything starts to sparkle and become a very bright, hopefully also from the inside out, from our hearts, that guides the way through the dark phase of the year. And we move with a heart light, just like a hermit with a lantern. I don't have the image here, but you get the idea. That's the Sag energy. That's also the energy of the hermit in tarot. And we carry that light with us and ignite and inspire others with it. As I often say, it's not just a matter where you're going with Sag, but also where you're coming from. Are you coming from your heart? Like the archer needs to pull that arrow back to the heart before shooting. Think about it. And what else is up? The new moon is coming. So here is the chart for the new moon. Ta-da. The new moon in Sagittarius. Here, Sun and Moon united, just having come out of Scorpio, and Mercury Venus also in Sag a little bit ahead. They both moved over the Phoenix point into Sag last week. So that brings in more fire and brings in more mutable energy into the overall atmosphere that had been quite fixed. but also needed. So we need to process, we need to hold the energy, and sometimes held by it, if not trapped by it, but also hopefully for a good reason. But now everything comes into motion and is mobilized, as also the Sabian symbol for the new moon would say, which has to do with a stormy sea that we're also seeing nowadays, as some breezes are coming in here on the west coast, showing us the mobilization of spirit through forces of nature. And that's very symbolic, of course. Check it out in my blog post. I wrote a bit about it. This time it was a bit more short and sweet after so much dense and intense energy for the eclipse season. So we're all taking a breather here. And so what's with that new moon? It brings a new spark, a new vibration into into our lives, into our hearts, as we feel we rise again like a phoenix. We're coming out of stuff and can now not only breathe and spread our wings, but also understand better what's been going on. And maybe we have stories to tell, also very Sagittarian. Moving to the light with the inner heart light, as I said, right, with the Sag season. And a new moon is a new start from the heart, in truth, in freedom, and with raised vibrations. The raised vibrations are also supported by Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, going direct from retro on also the new moon day tomorrow. In fact, just 5 minutes after the exact new moon. Very relevant, very related. And Jupiter, end of Pisces, double Pisces, where vibrations are everything, and can really change the atmosphere, can change our overall energy field, and make us happier, make us healthier, and are infectious. That's Pisces. So what helps us raise the vibrations? Maybe you need to expose yourself to something that is inspiring, like going to nature or reading a good book, talking to friends, doing something that lifts you up. It's Sagittarius season. And help others too. Share it. Connect with others. Don't encapsulate yourself, and be open and bring joy and smile and your heart into the world. So what else is on this week? And the new moon, as I said, is very mutable. Yeah, mutable is also apropos Mars in Gemini, currently retrograde for a while already, since end of October until January 13th, and will be eventually opposite the sun and the moon, the sun in Sagittarius when we have the full moon. In other words, on the full moon day, the next full moon on the 7th of December, the moon will connect with Mars, while Mars will be also in opposition of the sun, which is halfway through the retrograde phase. So that will be really important regarding the dynamic between head and heart, between thinking and knowing. Gemini and Sagittarius, but I'm not going ahead of myself here. Just keep an eye on it. And also mutable energy, of course, through Pisces. So with Jupiter and Neptune. So if you have mutable energy a lot in your chart, in other words, you have your sun, moon, rising planets in Gemini, in Virgo, in Sagittarius, or in Pisces, you're definitely affected by that. So that can bring into motion things into motion, but you could also feel like you're in a whirlwind of activity and energy right now. So it's also important to stay centered and not get completely carried away and lose energy over all this. And I believe I should come to a close here already. The only part I still want to address is the moon. So we have the moon today still in Scorpio, dark moon in Scorpio before the new moon. That is, if you have the time and energy, it would be fantastic to either do some clearing, cleaning, and preparing for a new light to come in, or to do actually a release ceremony. Perfect. Anything you'd like to release that is sticky, that is dark, that has been or is almost processed, this would be a wonderful time for it. And after the new moon, tomorrow, 2:57 p.m. is the new moon. And the moon, in fact, just goes into Sag 3 hours before, or a little bit less. So the moon goes into Sag at 12:16 p.m. So in the morning, overnight and in the morning, we still have Scorpio energy, Scorpio moon energy. And then we'll see a real shift after that happen too. There will be only the node in south node in south node in Scorpio until next Scorpio season. Sorry, okay, I'm getting a little confused. So we're having only the south node then in Scorpio until next July, and planets going into Scorpio together with the sun with the Scorpio season. That's more like it. So you will definitely see a shift when the moon goes out of Scorpio into Sag tomorrow, just after noon. And then the new moon, 2:57 p.m. Wonderful for a ceremony to invite new energies. If any new moon is about intentions, usually the new moon is associated with intention setting. If any new moon is like that, it would be the Sag new moon, because Sag is all about intentions. But I would say, in general, for the whole intention setting business with the new moon, I'd say this is just half of it, half of the equation. That's the yang, masculine, solar side of the moon, of the new moon. The other side is the yin, feminine, lunar side, which is all about receptivity. So also being open and for the gifts of the new moon, not just being in this very Western, modern intention setting mode, but also being open to receive the gifts. So the moon here this week is now dark, as I said, goes into new moon. The new moon will be just after the moon goes into Sag tomorrow. Then we have the Sag moon, which will be basically the peak of Sag energy during the whole Sag season, when the moon is also still in Sag tomorrow noon until just after noon at 1:18 p.m. on Friday, because then we have the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Venus all in Sagittarius. So that's a beautiful window for anything you'd like to put out that comes from the heart, is coming from a happy, generous place, a gifting place, a place of inspiration, and yeah, all of that, right? So then the moon, new and waxing, will be in Capricorn from Friday afternoon on over the weekend until, not completely over, but until Sunday afternoon at 2:07 p.m. when she goes into Aquarius. So the Capricorn new moon, as Capricorn waxing moon, is excellent for building, for implementing, for manifesting what this Sagittarius vision and intention and inspiration has been sort of planted, those ideas that have been planted, that spirit has been planted, that yes to something. And Capricorn says, okay, let's do it. Let's actually manifest something about this. And then the moon goes into Aquarius from Sunday afternoon on 2:07 p.m. until Tuesday the 29th. That will be the next astro weather at 4:15 p.m. So the Aquarius waxing moon is great for collaboration and also to look at the whole system, right? And also to look at anything from a more detached perspective, from a witnessing perspective, rather than being so involved. It's also the energy of science. And as the moon will be in Aquarius, she will connect with Saturn. Still in Aquarius until next March. So that Saturn moon conjunction of the month will be on Monday evening. And before that will be the moon-Pluto connection when the moon is in Capricorn. That is on Sunday morning. So moon-Pluto is, even though I said the Scorpio season's over, but moon-Pluto is still a lot about processing old stuff and ancestral connections with the ancestors, with the elders, and with natural law. So maybe things have come up for you lately in this world, this current reality that's out of integrity and it doesn't feel aligned with natural law. Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn help get us back into that, into a soulful place, a place of connection with what's sustainable, what's solid, what really feels from a soul level, this is right. And so all kinds of shadow that we've come across. And we also might have projected onto the outside world, onto them, onto the government, onto anybody who seems to be the boss and in charge, Capricorn, right? Also to check in, what's my part of that shadow? What's my part in supporting this, or even, something in me that I see in them? Projection and processing to follow. So Aquarius moon, as I said, early next week. And that's it for now. I carry on with my Astro News writing, the email version. You should have already seen the blog post for the Sag new moon and also for the sun crossing over the Phoenix Point last night. And those of you who are on my Astro News newsletter, which you're very welcome to join, just send me an email, licht, L-I-C-H-T, at islandnet.com, and I add you. You'll receive not just the news for the new moon and also for the Phoenix Sun and Sag season, but also all kinds of links to other features, other entourage of the new moon, other planetary movements and journeys, as we have Venus and Mercury in Sag and so on, right? So there'll be links to all these articles. There'll be an invitation to an offer that I have coming up, which will be Treat Time of December. That's my annual offer in December to make gifts and treating easier and more affordable, especially times like this, hey? So if you treat yourself, you get 22% off. If you treat somebody else, you get even 33% off for any astrology session. Plus, you can even, that's the best deal of the year, of course, you can even do a 2-for-1 together with somebody or gift 2 people, price of 1. So that's my December offer. More about that on Facebook and also more about that in the Astro News. So what else? yeah, also, of course, in the Astro News, there's also invitations to workshops, to Astro experiences. We just finished one last week, which was awesome. The Astro Archetypes Autumn Journey, a weekly with 2 archetypes per week, applied to each person's chart and life. Lots of really relevant discussion. Let's see. Okay, just light came off and on. Here we go. And so there will be another one for autumn. Sorry, this was autumn. And another one for winter. I start on the 29th of December, I believe. We start another one, 8-week journey, Astro Archetypes Winter Journey. So if you're interested, come over to my Facebook page where you can see more about, nope, not yet, but in the newsletter. In a newsletter, I'll take your names. If you're interested in that, you can ask me questions about it, and I will post it on my Astro Facebook page once the date is cleared, and then you get an invitation if you come to my Facebook page. So this much for all of that, and I hope that was inspiring, and I wish you well for the early Sag Phoenix new moon tomorrow afternoon and beyond, into a beautiful journey of the returning light into December. Take care. Bye bye.